week another home game. Quarterback matchup, pretty good one. Darnold against Lawrence, and early season confidence for this team. How long can they carry it moving forward? We'll get to all that coming up. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, brought to you by Fields Auto Group Jacksonville. See Fields first, Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. Go to fieldsauto.com. JP Shadrick, John Ozier at the Hyundai Studios, Miller Electric Center. Bucky Brooks in transit somewhere in Los Angeles. Hello, Bucky. How are you?
Cool. I am not in transit because that would be dangerous. I'm at a parking lot outside of the high school where I coach. We have practice today. And so the only way to do the podcast and make practice is to get to school early so I can leave the podcast and go to practice right after.
What's that shirt stand for? Great head coach? Is that
yeah.
what that is?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, greatest.
All right. Good.
Greatest
I like that.
Coach. That's what we said.
A confident man. Maybe not too self-aware, but I like that.
Wow. Multitasker, that's for sure. All right, let's touch on this Chiefs-Jaguars game last week on Monday Night Football, of course, the aftermath of it. The Jaguars offense had some early sputters. Trevor Lawrence made some big throws late. They find a way to get the touchdown. Just showed a lot of grit and moxie, Bucky, it felt like to me, and certainly from the quarterback. What stood out the most about his performance to you?
I would say the moxie and the guts. I would say it's the best performance that we've seen from him in terms of just the toughness and the grittiness and competitiveness coming out. Having known Trevor since he was in high school, he's always won. But to me, this was a different type win. This wasn't one where it was all about the superstar talent. It was more about how can I will this team to victory? And so he had some stumbles, you had some missed throws, you had some turnovers and those things. But at the end of the day, when the Jaguars needed Trevor to make plays, he made them with his arm, with his legs, whatever it took. He found a way to get this team to win. And it's a performance that he can build on because, look, there's a saying, winners win. Great quarterbacks find ways to win games doing whatever it takes. And he did that on Monday night, which really bodes well for this team's future.
Yeah, there were a lot of things, early and late that could have been a lot better from Trevor. But I agree with Bucky, and I'll sort of go like maybe a little granular on a moment. When he had the fumble, the next drive, it just seemed like it didn't matter. He was angry, maybe at himself, maybe at the moment, maybe just tired of, man, that's how it's been going too much at times. I've done that before with the fumble thing. And that's when he sort of started running the next drive and almost saying, I don't care how I get this done. Maybe there was a throw or two where he ran where he should have thrown, but looked back at it, not confident there, but I'm going to get this 7 yards. And there was a determination of, I don't care if it looks pretty, I don't care if whatever. We've got to win this bleep, 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 bleep game. And I thought that was pretty cool to see. Bleep, bleep.
I agree with you. And I think it's funny because when you look on the other side and you look at how Pat Mahomes is having to do it, he had 318 yards, but a lot of the stuff that Pat Mahomes did, his legs extended plays where he created big play opportunities. And Trevor leaning into his athleticism, his running skills, look, it was a welcome sight. He has to protect himself. But there are a bunch of different ways to skin a cat in this league. And he showed that it doesn't always have to be a pretty performance from him. It can be a gritty performance, and we still get the result that we want, which is a dub at the end of the night.
Well, then I don't know how much more we'll get into Trevor, but on the last drive, JP, it's 3rd and 7.
Oh, yeah.
And, an incomplete pass there for that 33-yarder down to BTJ. And, 4th and 7, you're usually not converting it. I mean, it wasn't a do-or-die play because if he hadn't, they wouldn't have died. But that moment and that throw, it sort of felt like he was just sort of shedding something, of throwing it. We've been talking about on this show, and the coaches have been talking about playing loose. It almost felt, Bucky, like that was his first loose throw of the season. And by loose, I don't mean like loose, not fundamentally sound or anything, but that he just let it rip. And then he let it rip on the next throw to Diami.
Yep.
And So maybe that's the start of playing, in the moment, taking a chance every now and then, because they've been wanting him to go downfield more. He did it a couple times. Maybe that play is sort of the start of that. Hey, I got to fling it. I'm Trevor Lawrence, damn it. I'm going to go play.
I think there's a lot of truth to that, not only for Trevor, but for Brian Thomas Jr., De'Ami Brown, and Travis Hunter. I felt like the plays that they made in that game could be the start of what we expected to see from this offense. Let it fly, because the weapons around Trevor are really solid and sufficient. They're good enough for this offense to be a top 5 offense if they just play. And they haven't played to their potential up to this point. But in that game, when they needed it, all of the stars, to Brian Thomas Jr., the big play to Travis Hunter earlier in the third quarter where he made a spectacular catch, De'Ami Brown making plays, and the great teams, that's what happens. The great players step up when they need to make plays. And for the Jaguars, it was great to see their blue chip players finally make some of those blue chip plays that we want.
I know, Bucky, you're a big TikTok guy, so you know all about Travis Hunter. Yeah, I mean, I watch college football, but I haven't really been a let's watch Travis's high school highlight guy since he got here. So I've kind of been waiting for a moment, JP. We've talked about it. When he jumped over the stadium to catch that ball 44 yards downfield, I thought of you, Bucky, because I thought, okay, well, there's finally, that's that. That's what that is. And because I'm not sure that, and there are other receivers in the league who could have made the play, but probably not that many. I mean, he was up. So he showed special stuff the other night.
Yeah, he showed us stuff, but it wasn't even that play. That play was spectacular. But I feel like I've seen him do that play time and time again. High school, college, jump over people, the spectacular ball skill plays. I feel like he makes those on the regular. We see it in practice all the time. To me, is when the ball is in his hands, I feel the stadium, I feel the energy go up. And when I was on the sideline, I wrote in my notebook, man, he is the juice. Because when he makes a play, the entire sideline responds differently than anybody else when they make a play. And the energy in the stadium completely changes. And it reminded me, man, you know what? As a coach, you have to find a way to let those guys impact the game some way, somehow. And I would think that performance on Monday night will encourage Liam to maybe carve out a handful of plays on his play sheet to make sure that Travis Hunter touches the ball. Because every time he touches the ball, you're holding your breath because something magical is about to happen.
And it changes the defense, too. I mean, they don't want to be posterized if he catches a 5-yard ball and then he makes 2 guys miss and gets 25, which he's done already a couple times this year. You know?
He certainly has that. He has unique gifts because I've always said the best thing about him is he's a ball catcher. You put the ball anywhere in the general vicinity, he is going to get it. But what he also does with the ball in his hands after the catch, he catches these 5-yard hitches and out-breaking routes. He makes the first 2 guys miss, and he slithers and knifes and turns a 5-yard gain until a 17, 18-yard play. There's so much more meat on the bone when it comes to what he can do. I'm excited to see what this offense does when they fully maximize his talents and Brian Thomas Jr.'s talents, because then this offense becomes very, very difficult to defend.
Let's touch on the Jaguars' defensive performance, and I mean the highlight reel obviously will be the 99-yard interception return for a touchdown by Devin Lloyd. We've seen it all over social media, everybody analyzing the film and going down to it, and he's up on the line, he backs out of it, saw something in film study, jumps in front, avoids Mahomes, stiff arms a running back, holds it high and tight the final 10 yards for the touchdown, and it was an incredibly impactful play against one of the great quarterbacks of all time. What else can you say about this one, Bucky? This is an all-timer.
Yes, an all-timer, but I had a conversation with Jordan Lewis after the game, and he said that play that Devin made, he was so proud of it because it came directly from film study. Evidently, the two plays that the Kansas City Chiefs ran down at the goal line, the pick play that was for a touchdown, is always followed by the follow play that Devin Lloyd jumped. And he said that was a byproduct of study and knowing where he needed to get to when he popped out of the bluff. So being at the line, popping out the perfect location, Pat Mahomes didn't see him. He not only catches it, but I'm telling you, this team's ability to turn defense into offense. It's almost like being at an NCAA tournament game, a team that presses, they turn it over, and it's a fast break. The way that they go to pick up blocks, to finish it, to cover it up, to make sure that it goes all the way to the paint, what a great play. And you talk about all the pressure coming off of the team. That was like the air being let out the balloon. And from that point on, the real Jaguars showed up.
What was Nolan Richardson, 40 minutes of hell
40
defense?
minutes of hell, yeah. I covered that team a few times. The impressive on that play, too, and did you see Smoot at the 20-yard line on that play blocking? And I haven't seen Dwan since it, but I'm still not convinced that he can do what he did. I'm not sure that he can move as fast as he did. And Josh Hines-Allen blocking. And those have been traits, when you talk about buy-in and effort and all those things, and there's such intangible thoughts when you talk about, oh, they've bought in. Okay, well, every team buys in, right? Or every team says they do. But there's been so many cases of downfield blocking for this team on offense. That case, they talk about running to the ball and all that, but every team I've been around talks about that. It's sort of like every defensive coordinator talks about being aggressive. I still want to be around the team that doesn't talk about running to the ball. But these guys do, and, he doesn't score that touchdown, I don't think, unless he's getting effort from his teammates. And we've all seen many times, huge play like that, he gets down to the 8, and then they don't get in. Well, it's a different play if he doesn't get those final 8 yards. And, so that, I think, really spoke to where this team is at right now in terms of effort, focus, concentration, all the things that they wanted to build in camp are showing themselves, and it's the reason they're 4-1.
It's so great to see, and it's so great to hear the guys talk about the energy and why it's paying off and how what they're doing in practice is showing up in games and how they're getting turnovers in practice, and that's translating into a turnover exception that's showing up in games. And on that pick six, you talk about the effort. Josh Hines-Allen trying to box out Tyquan Thornton on that play. And even though Thornton works away and gets out of bounds and those things, it's the overall awareness of the team to really try and turn those interceptions and fumbles into scores. And you just know the odds go up when your team is able to have a defensive score and just how they're on it. And I'm going to say this because Anthony Campanella is a quote machine when they go behind the scenes and access. But it's so odd to hear players at the NFL level talk about playing for their coach. It is a very unique thing. And John and JP, you guys have been around that locker room for a long time. It is unusual to hear players talk about, man, we just owe it to Coach Camp to play for him and to play hard for him. I don't know what's in the secret sauce in terms of Camp style, but there is something that he has done that has resonated with that defensive side of the locker room where they feel obligated to play hard for the coaching staff on defense.
I'll tell you, the sauce is that he's a genuine person who genuinely cares about his guys. Mm-hmm. And from the first interview, I'm sure, you've talked to probably more defensive players than I have. That's the first thing they talk about is this guy cares about us and we know it. Goes a long way.
Pretty clear right away when you have a conversation with him. Week 6 of the season is here. The Jaguars go head-to-head with the Seattle Seahawks in the crucial catch game dedicated to the fight against cancer this Sunday, October 12th at Everbank Stadium. We'll raise awareness through early detection, risk reduction, and education. Lock in tickets now, jaguars.com/tickets, or call 904-633-2000. Need another packed house this week with the Seahawks coming from the West Coast. We'll take a look at those 3-2 Seattle Seahawks when we return. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. For over 50 years, Fields Auto Group has been America's premier family-owned luxury auto group, selling the most iconic brands in the world. We understand the luxury customer and provide an extraordinary car buying and service experience. It's not just about selling cars. Fields is focused on building lifelong relationships. We invite you to visit Fields and enjoy an honest and memorable luxury car buying experience.
Chelsea here, ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? During our fall savings month, get 20% off your replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, or 0 interest for 12 months. Our Acclaim Impact windows are built for Florida homes, designed to help you save on energy bills by maintaining indoor temperatures year-round. Offer ends October 31st. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home consultation. License number CGC 1527613. Renewal by Anderson, where comfort meets savings.
The kick is up. It's good!
Field goals for Firehouse Subs are back. That means when the Jags score from deep, you do too. Anytime the Jags score a field goal that's 40 yards or more, you can get a free medium sub with the purchase of any other medium sub online or in the app for 4 days following the game. So cheer on the Jags, watch for the big kicks, and get your buy one, get one free medium sub at participating Firehouse Subs throughout Jacksonville when you use the app. The hottest subs in Duval. See firehousesubs.com for offer terms.
Hi, it's Sam Kavaris. You might know that Echo East Coast Transportation is the official transportation provider of the Jaguars. I've been a client of theirs for more than 30 years because they're from here and they're Jaguar fans too. So if you're looking for prearranged transportation, from the simple to the complex, call them at 904-631-5466 or find them online at ectjax.com and use the code SAM in the special instructions box for your 15% Jaguars discount. And if you want to talk Jaguars, they can do that too.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of this league. Like, you got to be able to, move on quickly. So I've had experience with that over the past few years. And I'd say physically, obviously, playing a Monday night game, it is a quicker turnaround. You lose, almost 2 days. So it's just trying to take care of your bodies and get ready to go. Because, today's a Wednesday and we got to prepare for Seattle. And it's really less than 2 days after our game. So that is always a little bit of a challenge, but everyone has to do it. Everybody plays Monday night games. So it's just something that comes with the territory, and obviously, we got to get back as quick as possible and get a great week of preparation in for a really good Seattle team.
That's the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, coming off a win last week, Monday Night Football over the Chiefs. Welcome back. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, JP Shadrick, John Oehser in Jacksonville. Bucky with us from Los Angeles. The full press conference at Jaguars.com on the Jaguars YouTube channel. He and Liam Cohen speaking earlier today. Locker room will be open here in probably about 30 minutes or so, doing some afternoon work today to give the guys a little extra time during the day coming off the Monday night game. And a light practice expected today as well. Ahead of the Seattle Seahawks coming to town, 3-2, and they've got some offensive pieces that are playing well. And it starts with the quarterback, Sam Darnold, throwing it around. Jackson Smith and Jigba is a big target for him, over 500 yards already. Cooper Kupp is still Cooper Kupp. A.J. Barner is a red zone threat at the tight end position with 4 touchdowns. And they've got K9, Kenneth Walker III, who is a dangerous back. And they use Charbonnet as well in the running game. You see him top 10 total offense, 5th in passing, points per game. Bucky, they're scoring. And is this sustainable for Darnold? What's he looked like so far?
Yeah, he's been good. I mean, Shane, they've done a really good job of getting this offense up and going. Clint Kubiak taking over and finding a way to put Sam Darnold in a very comfortable situation. Now, this offense has roots in the same system that he had success in Minnesota. They just expanded upon that. They can get the ball out of his hands quickly. They have really good wide receivers. Jackson Smith and Jigba is a dude. Cooper Kupp is not what he once was, but he's still a very effective player that they will find in critical situations, particularly on third down. But look, the defense has its work cut out for them in terms of dealing with those 2 wideouts, and they have a pesky running game where they don't lean on it heavily, but they do it just enough to create some opportunities in the passing game. So you got to make sure that you take care of Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. Those guys in the backfield are tough. But, yeah, well-constructed offense, and the quarterback is playing really, really well.
Yeah, I have a question, and it may be slightly off topic here, but it's a question that I think will lean on the guys whose name is on the show and make him look good. So I think it's okay to make him look good. I cover the Jaguars, and I try to pay as much attention as possible to the other 32 teams or the other 31 teams. But there's blind spots. And Seattle being so far out west, I always trust them to be good. But they're just a team that I never feel like I have a grasp on. But to me, Bucky, they're in the conversation with San Francisco, Baltimore, not this year, but you know what I'm saying, Baltimore, the Steelers, where they've got to the point over the last 15 years where don't think they're not going to be good because they're not going to dip. Is that all your guy Schneider, or why is this organization such a consistent organization?
Yeah, I mean, it starts at the top. John Snyder, who, I give a lot of credit to him for my career and everything, because he was the one that convinced me to go from wide receiver to defensive back in Green Bay. He had moved up the ranks. He gave me my first scouting job when he got the job as a general manager in Seattle. And the things that he believes in, they continue to do. They are a team that really heeds the words of Ron Wolf in terms of how they build their team. They are a team that is very much a size speed team. They do a really good job with Mike McDonald in terms of mixing up the defensive schemes to match the personnel that they have. On offense, they have a clear identity in terms of what they want to do. They want to run the football, but they found a way to unlock Sam Darnold and their problem. Now, luckily, we get them to come to the bank, and that is a long trip coming from the Pacific Northwest.
Playing at 1 o'clock, sure.
Yeah, playing a 1 o'clock game. But this is a feisty team. This is a team that you got to be ready for the physicality and toughness. But I feel like we're well prepared for it. Coming off the heels of playing San Francisco and Kansas City back-to-back, you won't get many more challenges than the ones that we just faced. Yeah. But now it's Vince Lombardi used to say the greatest reward for doing is the opportunity to do more. When you're a good team, the games just get bigger. So you have to be able to continue to sustain success by putting the Kansas City game to bed and being ready to take on another big opponent in the Seattle Seahawks.
You must be about to coach because you just dropped a Lombardi quote before practice. So,
well, I mean, like really, the quote should be going to Dr. Jonas Salk, but Vince Lombardi did it. So I want to make sure I give the proper credit. But Lombardi said it and made it famous, but it was somebody else's quote that he kind of lifted.
Fair enough. I'm not going to fact check you on that one. Let's touch on the Seahawks defense. They have been really good against the run. Third in the league, 83 yards per game. How does this Jaguars offense and a little bit of a nicked-up offensive line battle through here and run the football, or is it air it out time?
No, I mean, you know what it is. I think one thing that I've been impressed with the Jaguars, they stay true to who they are. They're going to try and run the football, and they're going to find a way to adjust to whatever the Seahawks are doing to create some opportunities for Travis Etienne and others to get free. But this is a tall task. Leonard Williams is a grown man on the inside. They have a fast set of linebackers. You talk about Ernest Jones being in there. They're just a really well-constructed defense. Byron Murphy, who is a rookie who's making plays already. I mean, they're big, fast, and physical. And so we're going to have to get our nose dirty with the runners. And up front, you got to win the trenches. You got to find a way to have success in the trenches. That said, there can be some opportunities outside where you can throw it and throw it down the field. We have to make the plays because they're not going to deviate from what they do. We're going to have to make plays on the outside to create some opportunities for us to have success running.
Yeah, a couple of thoughts. I think what I'm impressed with the most about the Jaguars running game is maybe not even the games where they've gone off for 130 or 140. It's that in the games where clearly teams have, I don't want to say figured them out, but have schemed them or played them away from having the huge game, they have still found a way to be effective at some key times with the running game.
Texans.
Right.
Yeah.
Had 75 yards in the second half.
Yeah.
And even the other night, Bucky, I thought they were stymied a little bit with the run game. And then when you go back and watch, 4, 5, 6 times they got good yardage in key situations by scheming it. They had the toss to Etienne. I forget what series that was, but helped set up a score very close. They stick with it, And I think the key there is over the course of a season, if teams are scheming against the Jaguars, they have to honor it the whole game because they know Liam's not going to go away from it. And so I think that'll play into it as you get further on in the season. Don't think that just because you stopped him in the second quarter that you don't have to think about the run the rest of the game. And I think that's significant. The threat of the run is always very important in the offense. If you lose it, I think you're done.
Yeah, I think that's been the most impressive part of Liam Cohen's play calling is his persistence when it comes to the running game. Most guys that have the big play sheet, they are fascinated and consumed by the passing game. But he finds a way to always get back to running the football. And I'm going to say this, like, I've been very impressed with the halftime adjustments that they make. I'm very impressed with the presentation that they make at halftime when it comes to how they present the running game and how they offer the fixes to the run game. And it shows. This is a team that they can be whatever they need to be on any given day to deal with the schemes that they attack. And that's part of the reason why you want to have zone schemes and gap schemes in your repertoire. They will change based on what they're facing. But against the Seattle Seahawks, who rank third against the run, it is going to be imperative that you have some success on the ground. You don't want to get into a one-dimensional approach against this team because they're fast up front and they can get after it. And those guys that are run stuffers do a great job of becoming pass rushers when they know that the field is tilted in their direction.
If you want customized Jags furniture for your home, check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. ZipChair, furniture for fans. We'll take a look at the defensive coverage of the game and the quarterback matchup when we return. This is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Finally, inventories and prices are customer friendly.
That's because summer's here, so let's keep it real at the Field Summer Sales Event.
We have vehicles on the ground and ready to go. All new makes and models to choose from, even electric cars and SUVs. Stop searching for your next luxury vehicle and see Fields first.
And get an incredible offer like this.
Right now, save up to $10,000 on remaining new 2024 Porsche models in stock at Porsche Jacksonville. Go to PorscheJacksonville.com.
Jags fans, this one's for you. If you've got MyGate rewards, you're already in the game. But now you've got a shot at the ultimate prize, meeting QB1 himself, Trevor Lawrence, at Everbank Stadium with 3 friends by your side. With the MyGate Rewards Gatorade Club, every 5 Gatorade items you purchase equals 1 entry toward your chance to win. Stack them up and score big. See store for details. Gear up for the season. Gates got you.
Watch the game, host your crew, or just unwind at BC Grill and Patio at Sheridan Jacksonville, part of the Marriott family of hotels. Enjoy craft cocktails, tasty bites, and indoor-outdoor seating perfect for watch parties, happy hours, and events. Mention this radio ad for 10% off food and drinks. Visit SheridanJacksonville.com or call 904-564-4772.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguars sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow. Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
So much of playing this position, I think, in this league is timing and circumstance. And there's so many talented guys that people end up saying can't do it, or it doesn't work in that timing and that circumstance. And now look what has happened to him in his career. Baker and him are on the same team and couldn't quite play on that team. So it's just time. So much of it is not giving up on these guys and knowing that as time goes and they accumulate more reps, not just in games, but in practice, calling plays, guys coming from spread systems, no huddle, shotgun, like that whole operation is new. It's different. It's a different mode of operation for those guys. So really cool to see guys like Sam, continuing to get better as they go throughout their career.
Head coach Liam Cohen earlier today, full press conference at Jaguars.com or Jaguars YouTube, and welcome back. It is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, JP Shadrick, John Ozier in Jacksonville, Bucky out in Los Angeles. That gets us into our defensive coverage of the game presented by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, benefits for federal employees and retirees, and it is the quarterback matchup this week. These defenses will have to face off against these two, and Sam Darnold, the former first-round, third overall pick back in 2018 by the New York Jets, has had time with Carolina, San Francisco, Minnesota last year, and finally now in Seattle. You see Trevor Lawrence on your right. The comparison of their statistics so far this year. 9 touchdowns, 3 picks for Darnold, 6 and 5 for Trevor. But Darnold, very efficient so far, and that's a pretty powerful quote from Liam Cohen, and I think there's some realization coming around to that because of the success of a guy like Baker Mayfield down in Tampa, Bucky. And how does that compare to what Darnold's trying to do right now?
Well, I think it's very similar, and I give Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield a ton of credit in terms of being able to kind of find their success later in their career, not late in their career, but a little later. And what it is a lesson is, it is timing and circumstance, like Liam talks about. It's a scheme thing. You got to find the right scheme. No one wants to hear this, but 85% of players in the league are system players, meaning they have to be in the right system that accentuates their talent. And what we've seen in the last 2 systems that Sam Darnold has been in, they've worked for him. Heavy run game, play action, surrounded by terrific playmakers on the perimeter, and he looks like a guy that was a top 5 pick. You hope the same for Trevor Lawrence. Right system, right supporting cast, it works. So this is a tell. Patience is everything when it comes to development of the quarterback. We're seeing it in Sam Darnold, and hopefully we continue to see it as Trevor Lawrence develops.
Yeah, and I've said for a couple of years, I think we're going to see it more and more, and because the pressure to play fast, meaning play the guys quickly, and then the pressure to pass judgment. And I understand it. It's a speeded up world that we're in. Everybody has hot takes. Everybody wants the answer now. They look on TV and they see a quarterback have one good game in another city and think that their quarterback stinks because he didn't have the same numbers. And it builds and builds to where the quarterback's confidence is affected in his situation. And so I think you're just going to see this more and more where a team says, oh, wait a minute, this guy over here who didn't work there, let's bring him in. I think you may be seeing it with Daniel Jones. My guess is in 10 years when we're all sitting here on the Bucky Brooks Huddle Up podcast, that you're going to see a breakdown of about 35 or 40% of the league with quarterbacks who people threw on the trash heap early in their career because it's hard to make this thing work fast. So I think you probably had about a 20-year period where teams weren't willing to give some guys a second chance who might have made it. It's such a copycat league that now there's going to be teams next year much quicker. Yeah, right. To make a move for a guy because they can stand in front of their media on March 17th and say, hey, Baker did it. He's our Baker. And everybody go, yep, that's what it is. So I think you are going to see this trend continue, and I think it's a good thing for these guys.
So it's funny because John Snyder spent, years and years working for Ron Wolf. And Ron Wolf used to say this because he learned this from Al Davis. Al Davis, the late Al Davis, would always say, if someone deemed a quarterback to be worthy of taking in the first round, he should get 3 or 4 bites at the apple. Because if they are graded as a first-round talent, there's some talent there. But it may take a change of scenery, a new voice, a new scheme to unlock it. And Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold will be poster children for that movement. Mac Jones will be another one, the success that he's having in San Francisco. Daniel Jones having success in Indianapolis. All of these first-round picks that are making it on their second or third or fourth try, it tells you that maybe there's a development problem when it comes to quarterback because we don't give them enough patience and enough time to fully realize their potential in their first situation.
They're this generation's Jim Plunkett, JP.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Jim Plunkett.
Jim Plunkett.
Look at you.
Two-time Super Bowl winner on his third team. Jim Plunkett.
Yeah.
Bingo. I didn't think I'd be hearing that one on the show today. We're back in a moment. And our final thoughts ahead of the Seahawks Jaguars matchup. It is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Finally, inventories and prices are customer friendly.
That's because summer's here. So let's keep it real at the Field Summer Sales Event.
New inventory is arriving daily. All new makes and models to choose from, even electric cars and SUVs.
Visit Fields today and find the fit for you.
And get an incredible offer like this.
For a limited time, get $3,000 off all Lexus TX 350s in stock at Lexus of Jacksonville and Lexus of Orange Park.
What's the best part about lawn care during the winter? You can give it a rest. Lawns only need watering up to once a week. Really, that's it. Using less water means you're saving time and money that you can put towards something else. Before you run your sprinklers, remember, give it a rest and only water up to once a week. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com. Watch the game, host your crew, or just unwind at BC Grill and Patio at Sheridan Jacksonville, part of the Marriott family of hotels. Enjoy craft cocktails, tasty bites, and indoor-outdoor seating perfect for watch parties, happy hours, and events. Mention this radio ad for 10% off food and drinks. Visit SheridanJacksonville.com or call 904-564-4772.
The kick is up. It's good.
Field goals for Firehouse Subs are back. That means when the Jags score from deep, you do too. Anytime the Jags score a field goal that's 40 yards or more, you can get a free medium sub with the purchase of any other medium sub online or in the app for 4 days following the game. So cheer on the Jags, watch for the big kicks, and get your buy one, get one free medium sub at participating Firehouse Subs throughout Jacksonville when you use the app. The hottest subs in Duval. See firehousesubs.com for offer terms.
I was probably my most calm the other night in ways, and it was cool to see then Trevor take over some of that, and you saw some of the swagger that he had after he made the throw to BT and Diami, and just, you just saw some confidence and grit and toughness that you want your teams to display, not because it's about my personality or me, it's more because I think that helps have an edge. And ultimately, would like our team to have an edge.
We certainly showed some of that on Monday night. Welcome back. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks. That's the head coach, Liam Cohen. And Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks is brought to you by Fields Auto Group Jacksonville. See Fields first, Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. Go to fieldsauto.com. And set your calendar for the annual Tailgate with Tony benefiting the Baselli Foundation. It's this Sunday ahead of the Seahawks game. From 10 a.m. to noon, you can support the Baselli Foundation's programs to provide mentoring for incarcerated young men, plus teachers in high-need schools. Elevated tailgate experiences available at BaselliFoundation.com. And look for Tailgate with Tony. Seahawks 3-2, Jaguars 4-1, Sunday, 1 o'clock. Sunday's game presented by Florida Blue. It's the Crucial Catch game. There'll be the Tom Coughlin J Fund families involved before and during the game. And this is always a special one, and it's a big one for the Jags. 4-1, Seahawks coming across the country, and to prove that they've been checking boxes all season long. How about another one about a West Coast team coming east to carry some momentum into London?
Yeah, Bucky, I think the box would be, can you go beat a good team where the circumstances are sort of in your favor? I mean, this is a game that I think good East Coast teams or solid East Coast teams, even though they're on a 3-game winning streak and sometimes you sort of lose your mojo, if you will, but good teams, like I think of the Eagles. Usually the Eagles go win this game. They're at home. Nobody in the league's really thinking about them. You're not on Monday night. You go get a solid win. You get to 5-1. That's sort of how you build toward an 11 or 12 win season. Is by building, okay, it's a 3-game winning streak. Let's get a 4. One more when a lot of teams that are average would let down in this situation because you had a big win on Monday.
Yeah, this would be a test of their competitive maturity.
Right.
Are you good enough that you stack wins together where it's the expectation that you win every time that you show up? Early in the year, the Jags have been a bit of a novelty. Oh, look at the Jags. They won. Oh, they went on the road or not.
Yeah, good point.
San Francisco 49ers. Monday night they won against Kansas Chiefs. If you really want to be recognized as a good team and a great team, you have to take care of business at home against these teams like the Seattle Seahawks, because no one will say it, but they're a really good team. And you have to get used to beating good teams on the regular. I'm excited to see how this team prepares, because in talking to the players, they didn't feel like they had a great week of preparation last week, and they stumbled through, so they felt like the process wasn't right. You heard immediately after the game, they talked about, we got to make sure we get to our process, make sure that we do all the things to be ready to play. I'm excited to see if they follow through on that, because that will tell me if they play well coming on the heels of what they've conquered the last 2 weeks. Oh, this team is ready to go to the next level, and we're going to be a team that is going to be in the conversation down the stretch, not only as a playoff contender, but one of the teams that can make a deep postseason run without looking too far ahead.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It was interesting when Liam talked today. He got in a little bit with the team having a chip on its shoulder, which is sort of what people want. A chip on his shoulder. But beyond that, he talked about exactly what Bucky said, that there was an overwhelming feeling of sort of being irritated that, God, we didn't play that well, and wanting to show sort of being upset about not playing well, even though you won a huge game. I mean, I think a lot of fans would say, well, you beat the Chiefs. This was great. I mean, it was a great atmosphere at the bank. The fans walking out of that game didn't care if they played well or not. Yeah. I mean, they could have played their worst game of the season. They beat the Chiefs. But I think there is a maturity in that. And I like your phrase, Bucky. Will it translate to a competitive maturity 6 days out? The legs will be a little tired. Can they fight through that and have have the concentration on Sunday, the stamina on Sunday? Competitive stamina maybe comes into it too. Can they do all those things that, as you said, if they win this one, they are a good professional football team who can go handle this kind of a situation. So I think it's a big game on that front.
It's a big game, and what you're talking about, and what I love to hear, they didn't say it. Standards. And the standards are not based on the output of the scoreboard, but it's based on how they felt like they played. So when you're playing to the standard, it doesn't really matter what the result is. It matters, hey, did we bring our best? Did we prepare? Did we put it all on the line? Was the execution the way that it's supposed to be? Yes. Now, whether we won or lost, okay, we can live with that. But it's playing to the standard. That is a lot to be already enacted.
Yeah.
5 or 6 games that the players are talking about. Yeah, we didn't play up to our standard. Before, we were celebrating pop champagne just because we were winning. They're talking about standard of play, which to me is something that the coach has done a really good job of creating a culture where there's a certain standard they want to live up to each and every day.
Yeah, very quick, I think something to watch on Sunday. I'm not sure either line thought it played that well. Played good enough. I mean, like, if you beat the Chiefs, you've played good enough. But it would be interesting to see how the offensive line against a very good Seahawks line, and then a defensive line that didn't quite get the pass rush it wanted, albeit in a, I'm not sure anybody gets the pass rush at once against the Chiefs, except maybe the Eagles last year in the Super Bowl. But those two groups, I think, will be very motivated because I think both think that they're a lot better than they showed, and I think they are a lot better than they showed on Monday.
We'll find out this week. John, you and I got to get in the locker room.
That's right.
It's about to open. Bucky, you got to coach them up today.
Greatest
That's
head
right.
coach.
Got a lot of quotes. The greatest reward for doing, opportunity to do more.
Yeah, why don't you get yourself a T-shirt like that, too?
Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to make sure we do that.
Bucky Brooks out of here. We'll see you this weekend, of course, in Los Angeles. John Oehser, I'm JP Shadrick. Thanks to our entire crew. Joe Fortunato, Brent Reber. Thanks to you for watching Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.